This week in comic books, Batman goes off-world to pick a fight with aliens because he's got nothing better to do, apparently. Over in Marvel, we get Carnage, and we're going to kind of reset Carnage and take him back to his roots of being a serial killer. So does that work? Let's talk about it. And also in Independence, we get Holy Roller, and I really don't know how to describe this book. So we're going to talk about that, a few other comic books, and let you know what's up to date. But first, Christmas is coming. Do you have somebody you can't shop for, but they like hot drinks and snacks? Let me share something with you. Check this out. Hey, what's going on, folks? This is your boy Pocan Joe to talk to you about Coffee Brand Coffee. We serve people that are tired of gimmicky advertising and branded companies that want to lecture you. At Coffee Brand Coffee, all we want to do is serve you freshly roasted coffee wherever you're at, whenever you want it. Consider Coffee Brand Coffee. Check us out, check our reviews out, and use promo code POCANJOE or the link down in the description to save yourself some money. Give me the opportunity to get you a delicious cup of coffee. All right, weirdos, don't forget over at Coffee Brand Coffee, it's Christmas time. We got gift boxes set up for you, and you can also build your own over there. Use my link, save yourself a couple of bucks, but that's not why you're here. Let's jump into comic books this week. First, we're going to talk about Marvel Superhero Secret War Battle World. So if you don't know, this is kind of the in-between what happened in the original Battle World Secret Wars kind of thing. So this is how, like, Black Suit Spider-Man met up with other heroes, the kind of in between the panels, gap filler type stuff. It's just pure action, fighting various monsters, and then of course running into some iconic villains as well. This is great for that Spider-Man fan that is just a huge fan of the Black Suit Spider-Man before it was Venom, right? This is a great read for you. I'm pretty sure you would enjoy it. I thought it was okay. It gave me a 50-50 feel to it because now I have to think back all the way back to that original comic book run and what happened there and kind of gap fill myself now, right? The old memory pills. It's a memory pill book. So all in all, it was an okay read is what I would give it. I'm sure anybody that loves Spider-Man would just rave about this book. Moving on to what we talked about in the beginning, we got Batman Offworld. I really liked that cover. Cover selections were a little slightly lower this week in my comic book shop, but I was super happy to get this. Normally, I don't like when Batman goes off into space and battles some great cosmic threat, right? I just don't see him being able to do that. I know somebody, high intellect, super smart guy, he can figure it out. That seems thin to me in most cases. But this kind of makes sense, and it's kind of weird. One of the things that makes Batman always kind of an interesting character is his fact that he's always trying to make himself better, right? Remember, he traveled the world, talked to the best pickpockets and kung fu fighters and whatever, right? Well, it would only make sense at some point that if he's going to improve himself even more, things off-world. He's got to learn that stuff, right? How do you fight an alien? How do you fight this or that? So basically, he buys himself a $500 million rocket, shoots off into space, and waits for somebody to find him so he can pick a fight with them. And then sit there and study and learn everything he needs to know about them while he's imprisoned by them to hopefully escape. This is a pretty predictable book, right? But I kind of like this version. Instead of just, there's a cosmic being of all power and, Batman outwits him, right? In this one, we actually got to see him learn and study and take his beatings and learn to conquer and fight. And I could not have picked a better book this week as far as Batman goes to read. I thought this was ingenious. It's smart. Yeah, I'm going to pick this up. Definitely a good book. Next, Flash, Jay Garrett Flash. So this is fun. You need to know that walking into it, right? We got the Golden Age Flash going on here. We got his daughter back. The memories are starting to come back now. That fogginess, right? They're starting to remember things. So we get flashbacks of the past of them fighting characters like Robo Bear. Go figure that one out, right? It's a robot bear. And for some reason, it's come back into our modern time. And we keep getting these flashbacks back to the past, which is kind of a good little homage. Like, hey, this stuff happened. This is what it would look like today. It's kind of this really neat clash. And then we have a bunch of young superheroes kind of caught up in the middle of it all, which makes it even more interesting to me. I love this. I love the dynamic of having to rebuild a family. I like the dynamic of worrying about your kid out at a mall, right, in today's time, and things like that. You really get that passion in here, and then you throw in some good comic book fun, fighting a robot bear. What's more fun than that? So it's a great way to hold on to the whimsy and still give comic book fans what they want. I enjoyed this book. I highly recommend it. Next, Justice League versus Godzilla versus King Kong. This is what I was talking about with the covers this week, right? I didn't want to do a Godzilla and King Kong. Kind of wanted both in there. Really wasn't a selection for me this week. I know they were out, but people are faster than me. So in this one, we find out just kind of testing what Godzilla's power set would be. You know, what would it be like if it was just Godzilla against like Superman or Shazam and Superman, like we found out in this one, and things along that line. And also, what is the major threat here? Well, it's 3 other monsters being spread out throughout the world. So the Justice League has to kind of break up. They're calling in all the reserves, you know, your B-listers, C-listers, you know, on and on and on, to go fight these huge monsters, right? And it's larger than life, right? And it's great. It's great. It's kind of weird to have Godzilla and King Kong and Justice League kind of fight. But again, I've said this before. It's kind of like watching a kid play a toys, you know? Various different types of toys. You know, the G.I. Joes face off against, you know, Godzilla. You know, how would they interact, right? We get this kind of feeling of kids playing with story in this. And I really enjoy that. We haven't seen King Kong yet. My guess is that he's going to kind of be the hero-focused centric character in this on the side of the Justice League. That's just speculation on my point as far as the story goes. But all in all, man, it's just great. It's fun. It's fun. All right, next. Pick of the week, right? And it's kind of weird for me. It's Daredevil, Black Armor. So this is interesting. So again, not the biggest Daredevil fan. I had to go with the shiny cover on. Look at that. Wow. Did that blind you? Oh, look at that. Even Daredevil himself could see that. Right? So what we get in this is an alternate ego of Matt Murdock as sort of a shady con guy. And then what that alternative ego would be like if he was alternate ego Daredevil. A lot of alternate egos going on here. A lot of traits and personality traits to it. This is kind of what you're dealing with here. This is fun. It's interesting. It's a little grittier than your average Daredevil story, you know, minus the religious stuff and all that. We're just dealing with basically a rogue scallion, if you will, being Daredevil, doing Daredevil stuff. Bring back one of my favorite characters, one of the best makers in Marvel history, and totally disregarded. It's amazing. We saw him in the show. We kind of get that, and we kind of get this new kind of sprung off mystery here. So it being the pick of the week, I don't want to spoil it for you, because if you didn't pick it up, especially if you're a Daredevil fan, you need to just pause and go get the book. Right? All right, next. Something else I liked this week. Carnage, #1, came back out. Again, but with a foil on this one. It was there. Why not? I like unique covers. Sure. So Carnage kind of got a little overpowered, right? So instead of just washing it and rebooting it, what they did is they kind of faced or addressed the question: if you have God powers because you've defeated all your weaknesses, who worships you? Like, right? That's the point of, you know, big G, little G gods, right? To be worshipped in some way. Who's worshiping Carnage, right? Like nobody, right? So time to go back to your roots, right? The reincarnation, if you will. Kind of go back to his school of committing serial killings, right? For various reasons, numbering his victims, the whole 9 yards. And of course we get Flash, right? Flash Thompson. He's anti-Venom in this one. So you got, like, you get it, right? Anti-Venom, Carnage, symbiotes, back and forth. Yeah, that seems kind of gimmicky to me, but I do like it when you play with a character like Carnage or Cassidy. They should be like maniacal, sinister, serial killish, right? Yeah, you can say tropey, right? But I think it fits with this particular character, as long as it's not the Carnage that we got in Venom. That guy was, oh, right. Woody Harrelson, I love you, but man, that was not good. But in this one, we kind of go back to his roots a little bit. Some things just don't translate the film very well, I guess. I don't know. All right, next. The Incredible Hulk. This has been fantastic. Congratulations, we have a new Ghost Rider, because we need more of those. I don't know what number we're up to now, but there's quite a few. But this one's kind of based in a World War II style. And I kind of like this. We got the old World War II Harley Davidson motorcycle. He's really just there to protect his family. We didn't get much information on him. We did get a chance to see him. Cameo first. You can make that argument out there as far as the appearance goes. We don't do that in this house. But I do like this because Hulk can be seen as a threat, a monstrous threat, and then we have this kind of Ghost Rider who's just protecting his family in his little area of the world, and Hulk being the intrusion on this. He was invited there, but all in all, he's the intrusion. This is good. I love this series. It's a great series coming through this. Just a great week of comic books. Really, I don't have anything bad to say until now. So now we got Mortal Terror. So this is weird. This is, like, I get where you're going with this. So the base premise of this is that vampires are like the ruling class of the world, right? They're take the place of humans, and humans are the lesser, more violent ones in this, or at least in this issue. I'm sure it changes to some degree. So humans are going around and just doing their best to kill vampires, right? It starts off with a train explosion, and it seems like it has all the things that would hit, like all the things you would like. But when humans are the terror to a vampire, mind you, they still drink blood, right? Like, I don't know. I just could not jump on board with this. Maybe I was just hungry. Maybe I didn't get enough coffee. Coffee brand coffee. Maybe, whatever the case may be. But I just was not resounding with this. I'm sorry. All right, next. We get Holy Roller. I don't even know how to describe this to you. Like, it is just... First off, one of the things I generally don't like is when a star, right, like a celebrity, is like, oh, I'm going to write a comic book. So we get Schomburg in this. Great comedian. His work on NSL. His work on Lonely Island, doing the parody songs. I think he's a funny guy. Like, he definitely has some humor behind him. Great movies, stuff like that. I enjoy the man as a comedian. And I actually enjoy him as a comic book writer, too. This was fun. This is just silly fun. This is gimmicky. It's comical. It's him. He puts himself in the comic book along with some other stars you may recognize as well. So this is just star-studded, and you can kind of see where they're parodying characters. Like, you'll see somebody that looks like the kid from Stranger Things. Yada, yada, yada. So basically, as a child, he gets bullied a little bit. Dad's an ace bowler. Holy Roller. And then he like goes away and like wants to save whales or something, but really he's just a loafer on a whaling rescue vessel. Goes back because his dad's dying, back to his hometown in Ohio, and sees that the place has changed a lot. It's basically just a crap hole now. And Dad is like, hey, we're your family, traditions, blah, blah, blah. They bring up, the fact that your faith, being Jewish in this, they kind of touch that realm too. There's a lot of heart there with the old man. And then we realize that, well, everybody in his areas, they don't like the Jews, right? There's a problem with the Jews. And, bowling being in his blood, his preferred weapon against that. It's fun. It's comical. There's a lot of wittiness to it. I highly enjoyed it. So that's my comic book haul this week. We have to finish kind of early because I got to start prepping turkey. By the way, happy Thanksgiving. Hope you and yours are having a wonderful time together. From the Clan Pocan to all yours out there. Happy Thanksgiving. And keep your eyes on the channel. Coming the new year, we're working on a little project here at Comic Book Review. We may actually be doing something kind of cool. I don't want to spoil it this yet. We'll do a little sampler in December. get that out to you. Also, if you don't know, I have Evil Air Projects and Builds. We're making a belt, a wrestling belt. And we're making it for somebody in the comic book community. He's probably the most even-killed cat I've ever met in my life. And then, of course, we're jumping right into the Christmas project. And it's going to be a big one this year. So, guys, like, subscribe, all that other good stuff. I'll see you around in the chats, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.